Howdy, hey guys, we got Crew 42 here and TOWCH Twins doing the commentary for the Kalamazoo Open. Joining us today will be Andrew Marwede and myself, Reid Frescura. Hopefully there'll be no copyright infringements on that previous music you've heard, but we're playing at the
BlueGil, of course. I was just trying to get pumped up, do some commentary. Final round,
yeah,
back 12. Got TOWCH Twins.
Yeah, we're back again, baby.
Wait, Reid, if I wanted to get a TOWCH, where would I get one?
Probably from you or from me.
And where would that money go towards if I bought one?
Just supporting our tour. Got to get that corn and spam. Speaking of corns, we've got Tim Barham
Leading the pack.
Yup.
Followed by myself, Andrew Marwede. Close behind, Dan Treece. 987 rated.
And we have myself, Reid Frescura. Oh, you're so sneaky back there.
Looking at the front 12 scores, a lot of green, followed by a few bogeys. You got Tim and Reid shooting hot so far with 3 down. Close behind myself with 2. Dan hanging in there at even.
All right, moving on, we have hole 13, par 3, 235 feet. Definitely one of the shorter holes on the course and one of the mandatory birdies that you have to get if you're going to place well.
The only trouble here really is that tree we're passing right now on the left. As long as you miss that tree, you're pretty much guaranteed to have a putt. Unless you're reading the practice round, hit it square up and hit your 60-footer anyways, so.
That will happen. All right, up first we've got Tim Barham. Looking to throw, looks like a Raptor, playing for that skip. Oh,
just over top.
He almost had 2 ace runs right there.
Got myself sticking with that pro pick again.
Yeah, he played this one a little tighter than he did the last round.
Yeah, I was tired of flirting with that tree, so. Nestles right next to the basket.
Did you take it out to dinner last night?
No, I'm too cheap. Got Reid throwing his Ringer GT. Nice little flip-up hyzer. Parked. I think out of the 3 rounds, this was the only hole that was aced by Joe Gill himself.
Oh, the course owner?
Yep, that's him.
Dang, that's impressive.
Home court advantage. Got Dan throwing a nice turnover. Kind of an unfortunate roll out to the left side, but has a circle's edge putt. Hits to the left side. He kind of knew it wasn't going to stick, but.
We got Tim here tapping out for his 2.
Got myself tapping in, followed by Reid.
So why doesn't Big Bird disc golf?
I'm not sure why.
Well, rumor has it he's afraid of the cage.
We got Dan here tapping in for his 3. So we got 3 2s and 1 3 on the hole. Definitely plays as the easiest hole on the course.
Yeah, I believe 75% of the field actually deuced that hole. Anyways.
Close enough.
Moving on, we've got hole 14, par 3, 345 feet. The play here is a nice high righty hyzer to get through this gap here and hopefully make it up onto the green.
Yeah, the gap's only about 10 feet wide, so anything that's going to hit a tree early is probably going to kick left or right, and it's going to be a very tough up and down from there. So anything that's low, skipping up to the green is going to be a good shot here. We got Tim up first, throwing his vulture. This is his stable vulture too, so he's going for a high, more of a spike angle. Leaves it a little inside and pretty good shot, but
is that unfortunate roll?
As BlueGil does. And that was probably a worst case scenario for a roll. That was a good shot by Tim. Throwing my Champ T-Bird on a hyzer flip, and I thought it was pretty good out of my hands, but just a hair wide and has an unfortunate kick to the right. Going to be scrambling for my par.
The only reason I threw this nuke here was actually because it matched my shoes. Just had a good feeling.
Reid going for the skip shot. Doesn't matter if it's water or ground. You got Dan throwing his flip up. Doesn't really flip up though, and also with the roll. Probably, I don't want to say a good roll, but I think the right side's a little bit more favorable than the left side in terms of getting up and down. So
yeah, there's definitely a lot more gaps to hit.
Regardless, he pures his up shot. Gonna be tapping for 3. And how was this looking for you?
Well, the stance felt pretty awkward, first of all, but I'm just hoping to get up there. Maybe run it. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, you did once tell me if you're within 200 feet, you're only looking to throw it in, nothing else. So
Oh, 100%.
I'm sure you were running that.
We got Andy here with his deuce run. Was it a run or was it a layup?
No, knee is probably a layup. I don't really remember.
Yep.
Tim flicking his zone out there. Everyone's going to be tapping in their threes. Not the worst, but no one really had a clean look at it. So
Got the cameraman in the back here trying to remain stoic.
this is definitely one of the trickier holes, and I don't know, just cut that part, actually.
No, let's go with it. It's fine.
All
It'll
right.
be fun. All right, here we got the holes, the scores on. We all took pars. Let's just go with that.
All right, let's go to hole 15 is better than hole 14. We got a par 3 here, 410 feet. This is going to be one of the hardest holes on the course, according to par. Definitely plays more of a par 4 in terms of the scoring average. Most players are going to either play a layup to where we just passed that first hill, or get aggressive with the distance driver and probably land right where this camera is right now to give yourself a very long putt. But anything in the middle of the fairway is a definite bonus, and try to get an opportunity to get a 3.
Yeah, you're definitely better off trickling right than left off the tee pad here.
Right. You got Tim throwing a fairway driver, hitting that left gap, and he's up there a ways. I'm just doing a layup shot here with my Pro Pig forehand, just trying to get to the top of that hill, and pretty much all I wanted. I'm fine with that shot.
Yeah, that was really nice. Throwing mid-range buzz here, just trying to lay it up like Andy.
Yeah, it's pretty ideal right there.
And we got Dan Treece, probably looking to play pretty aggressive. He's got a driver in his hand. Just not right enough.
Squares that tree up, but didn't really kick it left or right, so he's pretty much in the center. And I honestly thought Tim's drive was a lot better in this. He was kind of tucked back in behind those grouping of trees, and only shot he had was a layup, so smart shot by Tim. Throwing that Pro D Challenger again, and perfect shot. So much finesse.
All right, we got a tree here. Looking to get up there to save his par. Yeah, that was really nice for his drive lane that he had a good gap to hit.
Yeah.
And he parks it. Should be an easy 3.
It's definitely a tougher hole than these guys are making it look so far.
Yeah, I believe one year Nico LaCastro was here playing, and he actually got one of his drives all the way up to the second hump, but that's pretty crazy.
Also, if I recall, I think TOWCH Twins doubles for the BlueGil last year. Might have got a deuce on this hole, thanks to Reid.
That's right. Those Drew Gibson turnover drives.
Got myself just throwing a flex with my Pro Pig up there for easy 3. Looks like we're going to have 3 threes on this card, and Tim's going to card the only 4. Not much you could have done, no.
I actually snagged Tim's putter on this hole because I was just trying to play around with him. But then I saw him get all frazzled when he's like looking through his bag for his putter, so I just gave it back right away. But corns will be corns. All right, we got Tim here leading by 2 strokes, but to Andy. Moving on to hole 16, 264 feet, par 3. You really want to make it down the initial part of the fairway. The rough is pretty thick left and right.
Anything short here is going to be a tough 3, so as long as you get past the second hump, this hole kind of has a bowl effect where as long as you get through mostly down the fairway, it kind of trickles down to the center here, and there's a lot of skinny trees to beat, so you're just trying to hit that initial gap and hope for the best.
Oh, we got Andy up. This Pro Pig. Looking to lay some lines here. Hits an early tree on the green,
Yeah,
but he'll still have a look.
kind of hit one of those trees you couldn't really see from the tee pad. I thought it was good out of the hands, but we'll have a longer look. Reid throwing his flip up 10-year buzz.
Yup. Can't go wrong with the 10-year.
Gives it kind of an ace run. Be circles edge deep, maybe a little closer than that. Dan throwing that blue gauntlet for the 100th time.
Beautiful shot. If it keeps coming all the way through, yes, that'll be CTP. Hopefully he doesn't hit his head on the way up from picking up his disc.
We got Tim throwing his buzz. It leaks a little bit. I think it clipped a tree and kicked to the left. He's going to be just jump button out, salvage a par. Got myself from about 50 feet and...
Oh, you know, they say if you run it in, it actually increases the chances of it going in.
I did actually know that.
Yeah.
Pro tip 101. Reid come back for his 2. 20 feet.
Yeah, so 47% of the field actually birdied this hole. So it's pretty impressive.
These are all made up numbers, but good educated guess for the fans at home.
Yeah, we'll have the stats soon. We'll get them to you guys.
It's a work in progress. We got 2 2s here and 2 3s. Pretty standard scoring separation for this hole. Moving on to one of the tougher holes on the course, hole 17, 333 feet. The main gap is right here, and it's only about 10 feet wide, so anything through that gap you're going to be happy with, as it goes slightly downhill and it goes way uphill after you throw that gap. So you're looking to throw like a fairway driver, possibly a distance driver, flip up, hoping to get anywhere towards the top of the hill for a longer putt. Definitely a bonus hole, bonus birdie.
Yeah, it definitely makes it tough off the tee pad because you got to throw that high drive and fight with those trees in the middle.
If it kicks one of those trees early, it can go left or right very far.
So this is a nuke, just a nice flip up.
That's about as good as drive as a forehand can get, I feel like.
We got tree here. Just a little bit right.
Just throwing the unintentional hyzer route.
Yeah.
Kind of kicks back on him, though. That left side, as long as it's more than halfway up there, is a little bit more clean than the right side. Throwing my Star Thunderbird, and I honestly thought I pured it as soon as I threw it, but a little too inside. Has a bad kick off to the right. Tim hugging that right side, but fighting through everything. He's going to have a long look at the basket. Probably about 50 feet or so, and did not really have a whole lot here. I'm just taking my FD. Almost got all the way to the top of the hill, but kind of stops where it lands right there.
Got tree here just trying to get up the hill for his 3 save. Wow, that is a beautiful shot. You know, I don't even know if there was like much of a gap there.
It
but
did
he found one.
More than a disc or 2 in width.
At most, yeah.
So Tim's just laying up for 3 here. He kind of knows where he's at. Not sure what he was thinking about there, but so I got my 50-foot uphill putt.
Oh, that was a confident run, though. Always run your uphill putts, kids. Remember that. I was hoping that one would roll back a little bit.
We got Dan with a complete death putt here for his par, and leaves a little bit short, but lands next to the basket. Got myself tapping in for the 4. And giving a stroke back to Tim right now with only about 6 holes left to go. Kind of in panic mode right now for me and Reid to get some more birdies. Just try and stay in contention. Also try not to fall down.
Slippery slopes.
We got 2 3s and 2 4s here. Moved on to hole 18. I got par 3, 235 feet. One of the shorter holes on the course. One of the easier ones, but nonetheless, this gap here is pretty straightforward. Kind of narrow, though, so as long as you hit that gap with a backhand turnover with a putter, going to try to land a little bit short, scoot up towards the basket. Anything deep or right is going to go severely downhill, so not looking to go too far off course here.
Throwing my trusty challenger on this one. I think this was the first round I actually was able to pure it. Yeah, that'll work.
Got Tim also throwing a challenger. And I don't think Tim's ever not completely laced this shot in his life, so
Yeah.
Perfect drive.
See, I wonder if those trees like right off the tee pad ever come into play for like the right-handed players, because I mean that tree's pretty close.
That's a good question. I always forehand this hole, so I'm not really sure. Throwing my pro pick again here, and all 3 rounds did the same mistake of just a little bit too much flip, and stays in the center though, so it should be a pretty routine up and down, and that's close enough. Not my best effort, but
All right, we got a tree here looking for that 2.
definite death putt though, so kind of fortunate to at least catch some chains. I'm sure he was hoping to make it though. Tapping in my 3. Got Reid looking back, making sure he's out. Tapping in his 2.
Gotta be courteous out there.
Dang, it didn't go too far past the basket, so he had a pretty routine putt for his par. Puts the cigarette back in his mouth for good measure. And Tim with the ideal drive, just tapping in his 2. So after that hole, we got Tim with a 4-stroke lead over myself. Six back is Reid. Dan's hanging in there.
You know, at this point, I really didn't know I was like 2 strokes out from you. But anyways, moving on, we've got hole 19, 241 feet. The play here for the righty is to throw a nice backhand turnover. As you can see on the right, there is some downhill action, so that will obviously come into play.
The righties here are trying to throw an overstable putter or mid-range to really make sure it fights back to the left, because if you hold that ante going down that hill, it's going to go all the way down the hill. If not, it's going to hit short and roll down the hill anyway. So you're going to want to make sure you finish this shot to the left of the pin. That's why Reid's going with a stable fairway driver here. I believe a Raptor on a forehand flex. Playing to the safe side of the green.
Anything over there on that left side will be pretty safe, and you'll be looking at a putt. It's a little sketchy putt, but...
Definitely a death putt, but that's the place to be. We got Tim throwing a mid. His Buzz SS. Does he have any other mids in his bag?
Maybe like 2 other Buzz SS's, I'm sure.
Okay. Unfortunate kick, unfortunate roll. That's kind of how this hole goes, though, is even if you think it threw it good, it's probably not good enough.
All right, we got Tree up here throwing his turnover putter.
This is the ideal route right here. Oh, hits that, I spoke too soon, hits that last tree, and it's going to have like a 45-foot uphill putt. And Reid, go ahead and commentate this one.
All right, well, he's throwing his Thomas Gilbert AVR 3. Whoa, did that kick off some trees?
I don't think so, but who knows?
Well, either way, great shot. It was parked.
We got Tim with his uphill 50-footer. And Tim was talking about this one after
he was
the
trying
round.
real hard.
A little bit of a slippage, but it's all good
Tree
fun.
for his 2.
Has that tree in the way of Tree's putt.
Tree's got to look out for trees.
Tim with his like circle's edge comeback for par. Kind of a death putt too. So that's a great hit. He knew how important that was.
Looking at it on the crew view.
That's
Beautiful.
We got Reid, downhill, 20-footer. What happened there?
Well, I missed, and then I begged it to roll. And you know what? It actually rolled this time, so I just had to go with it.
I actually heard legend that Reid has never missed a comeback putt in his entire life. The story maintains to be true.
Yeah,
Reid with the circle 2 putt here. What were you thinking when you putted this one?
I was thinking that if I missed it, it was going to roll down the hill again. So I figured I'd better make this one. And I mean, there's nothing worse than having a 2-look turning into a 3. So
Myself tapping in the birdie. And Dan's going to be tapping in for his 3. Definitely one of the shorter holes on the course, but plays pretty tricky just because how severe that hill is and how much, as you can see, how much the disc likes to roll away.
yeah, Andy gains a stroke on this hole.
So Reid has no good things to say about this hole, so I'm going to talk about this hole. We got hole 20 here, 396 feet. Kind of a tweener hole, as the main play for a righty is going to be a straight fairway driver, straight down to the center to cut the hole in half, or a big righty forehand. You're going to want to throw about 330 feet to right here before it starts breaking right. This is kind of the inside gap this camera's going through, or you want to go a little bit farther past that group of trees and hopefully get a big skip to get yourself maybe a 60-footer. One of those holes where you're just trying to get most of the way down, give yourself an easy par look. maybe a throw in for 2.
Who knows? All right, we got Andy up first. What are you throwing?
Throw my Star Destroyer. Almost hit that tree on the left, but comes right in front of it. And it was a good shot. Just kind of hit that tree and bounced left. We got Reid throwing his. Or what disc is that?
I think of Force. Yeah, ESP Force.
Gets through those trees. It's up there somewhere. I'm sure that you'll be fine.
Yeah, I got Tim with a Kong forehand.
As for it to get right.
Definitely a little straighter than he wanted, but the skip.
Yeah, it has a big skip. He's on the back side of the fairway, which is usually pretty open, so he'll be fine from there. And Dan's going for that backhand route. You don't see too often, but it's pretty safe as long as you can hit that gap. Really opens up after you get past that main curve. So are you flicking a buzz right here?
Yep. Yeah, just nice buzz forehand. Didn't work out as great as I wanted. But
yeah, you're kind of tucked back there pretty far. You got Dan.
He's got to look for it too.
Yeah. Throwing his blue gauntlet again. Right next to the basket as always. I'm about 90, 100 feet away, just trying to jump up my AVR, get it close to the basket. Maybe throw it in, who knows.
Got Tim here. Probably looking to can this one.
A nice flex, Annie with his challenger. Sticks it close to the basket. So Reid with the only difficulty here, long putt for his 3, and I was standing right behind him. I thought I was going in the whole time. Leaves it a little bit high though. He'll be tapping in his 4. Everyone else tapping in his 3. So was there any deuces on this hole?
Jeez, I think maybe 5% of the field deuced this one.
If that.
Yeah, definitely a tougher hole, but and there's just a lot of trees on this hole, man. There's a lot you gotta watch out for.
And even if you do have a good shot, those vines on those big trees really come into play and kind of limit the skip that you're allowed to get. Reid going with the bowling tap in. It's a bold move. I like it though.
Yeah, I gotta take a 4 in good fashion, or 5 if I miss that putt. Anyways, we got hole 21, 450 feet. It's a wide fairway that ends at the tree line, which closes into a gap where you'll find the hole. The play here is to throw a distance driver to the gap, or, the gap will probably leave you at like a nice 40-footer, or you can crash into the trees and pray to get a putt through all the foliage. But
and it's definitely uphill the whole time too, so it's all of 450, if not more. So everyone's throwing a distance driver almost as hard as they can.
It's definitely a good bonus hole to get.
And myself throwing a Star Destroyer here. Throw it nice and straight. Maybe wanted a little bit more flip up, but hyzer's in, pin high. We'll see if I have a putt, but as you can tell, it doesn't look like it.
All right, we got Tim up next, probably throwing a crank, I can imagine.
Or nuke. Once again, Tim, let us know in the comments.
Please. But looking like it might finish pretty well.
Yeah, that was right at the gap.
We got Tree with his world.
I think Dan's play here is just aiming for the mouth of that gap to give himself a nice jump putt.
Definitely, yeah.
Reid, what are you throwing here? Is that your nuke?
Yeah, nuke. I'm just looking to crash in, get lucky.
Definitely have all the power necessary, and a nice little kick off that limb, and some leave it right in the middle of the putting green. I think circle 1.
We got Tree here. See what he can do.
I think this is kind of a half go. Kind of overjuiced it a little bit though, and might have a tester putt coming back. And
what were you thinking here?
I absolutely had no putt, and if I'm calling for my blue pro pig that it's a scramble, so I was just happy to hit the gap. You got Tim here outside the circle, 40 feet, straddle on the knee.
Wow, that was an excellent shot. He even played through that branch.
And that's kind of the dagger. Tim was up a few shots, so getting that birdie over everybody else is definitely a boost of confidence for his tournament. Dan with the tricky comebacker for the par. Good putt from Dan. This is Reid's drive. I bet you this is probably one of the closest drives you're going to see in this hole. Jams it in there.
Yeah, sometimes those close putts are kind of stressful. It's the expectation.
We got 2 2s on that hole and 2 3s. Moving on to hole 22, par 3, 300 feet. Play here for the righty is a backhand hyzer, probably with a mid-range, or if you want to tone down a fairway driver. As long as you don't leave it short right or short left, that's really the only danger on this hole. If you throw too good of a drive, you're going to hit this tree you see right here, right in the middle of the fairway. If not, you're going to leak left or right and give yourself a putt on this hole. We got Tim up first here.
Looks like he's doing that buzz assess again.
Going for the straight approach to flip up. Kind of low, kind of left, but I'm sure that skipped up there to a putt. And is there a reason why you chose backhand over forehand on this hole?
I just felt like the right thing to do at the time. Whenever I'm unsure, I just throw a buzz, so.
Whenever I'm unsure, I just throw a forehand, so I'm going to throw my champion sidewinder here. Hyzer flip. Didn't have enough room to flip, kind of clipped some cabbage on the right.
I got Tree up with his warship, going dead nuts. Just beats that tree. That's the drive you're looking for on this hole.
Could be 20 feet away. So I tried throwing my pig here, but had nothing. So I had to backhand my AVR and juiced it a little bit. Going to be tucked behind those trees, actually a lot more than I thought it was going to be. So.
The cabbage.
We got Tim from Circle's Edge, maybe just outside.
Yeah, Tim.
Excellent putt.
Tim's been putting great this whole tournament. Got myself way back in the shrubs.
Oh.
That's probably the hardest I've ever
gem.
putted to. Nice little view what I had to deal with. I had to go just under that limb you see right there. So get it nose up, and if I miss, go 40 deep. But thank God I didn't. Got Dan here tapping in the oh, leaves a little right side.
He's not happy. Moving on, we've got 2 deuces on that hole and 2 pars. Tim Barham slowly pulling away, 26 down.
There is a battle for second, though.
Yes.
Only 2 strokes behind.
Moving on, we've got hole 23, 285 feet. The main play here is a righty forehand, or I guess if you wanted, you could do a righty turnover, but the thing you really want to watch out for is the hill behind the basket, which if you get a drive that's a little too far, it could end up down there. And I mean, I guess the good thing is there's some limbs there to help stop you if you crash in too high.
Yeah, the main challenge for this hole is all distance control. So Tim's going to be throwing a forehand spike hyzer here. You're going to try to really get that spike angle, ask for it to get down so it doesn't skip or roll. And that's about as good as you can get.
He's in the rock nest.
Reid throwing that wasp, I believe. He's been throwing all day.
Yup.
Throwing it nice and wide to limit the skip.
Oh, see, I was wondering why. It felt like it was a little long. I guess it was that tree. Get lucky, baby. All right, we got Andy here with his Firebird.
1 of 4 in the bag. You should try one. They're good discs.
Beautiful shot.
About 15 feet away or so. We got Dan here throwing the backhand mid-range. Gonna go straight at it. Flips a little bit. There's kind of a little bit of wind on this hole. You can't really tell. It's kind of swirling. But he clips that and shoots straight down. He's going to have a longer, definite depth putt. Cans it, though. No fear.
He's a seasoned pro.
That one definitely deserves a crew view. Actually, a little bit of gap he had to hit, too.
Yeah, it was pretty tight. Great, too, either way.
Got myself tapping in the 15-footer deuce. This one looking like it's going to be a star frame as well. Definitely one you want to get, but you don't see too many star frames on this because there's so much trouble that can happen.
Yeah, this hole is actually shortened up than it was previously in other tournaments.
Yeah, hole 24, par 3. The play here is a nice wide forehand for the righty. I've seen some rollers and some really wide backhand turnovers, but the most efficient route I feel like is going to be a big forehand, trying to crash it in just before this thick tree here on the left, over the vines, give yourself a putt.
Yeah, best case, you'll be 40 feet, best case, you'll be, parked. Worst case, you'll be about 40 feet.
The only thing you don't want to do is sawed off and go really early right or go too far left, because then you're not really going to have a putt.
And we got Tim with the forehand, just like Andy described earlier, nice and high.
Looks pretty ideal, but catches that last tree and just bounces straight down. He'll have a longer look, but
He's pretty much got it locked up already, so.
Reid has a little wide, probably wanting a big skip here. Gets a decent skip. He'll be circle's edge.
What'd you throw there?
That was my destroyer. A little bit of header on this hole. I didn't put enough hyzer on it, and I kind of juiced it. So I went past the gap, so I'm not really going to have a putt. Here's that roller I was talking about from Dan. Doesn't seem to like it, though. Didn't really flip over enough.
We got Dan here with his upshot. It's an unfortunate tree, but still should be an easy 3 for him. So what was on your mind here?
I was either going to do a forehand roller or this nice little elevator putt.
Oh!
I couldn't believe that I made it all the way to the basket, let alone hit the basket. So I was content with just tapping in my 3 to finish my round. Tim didn't need to make it, but he gave it a run. You got Reid with a step-out straddle putt. And
just a little lamb side. I got Tree here tapping in for his 3. Nice weave of the towel.
Myself tapping in for the 3 as well.
Yeah, this was kind of a long weekend.
3 rounds, 24 holes at BlueGil. A lot can happen. A lot did happen. Great tournament, though. Tim's going to tap in for the par, for the win. 7 down. Finishes at 27 down overall. Second place is myself, 22 down. Not far behind third place. Reid, Frescura with the whatever that was.
Yeah, 20 down or something.
Yep.
Yeah, back 12 scores. Final standings. Got Tim Barham taking her down. He's like the king of Michigan. Wins a lot of tournaments here. Anyways, thank you guys for watching and for listening to the TOWCH Twins drone on and on about disc golf. We hope you join us next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and every other sort of deal.
See ya.
What's up, guys? Zach here from Crew 42, coming back to you to give a huge shout out and thank you to everyone who was involved in the tournament to make it a huge success for us here. Starting with the players, we had Andrew Marwede, Reid Frescura, Tim Barham, and Daniel Treece. We appreciate you guys for allowing us to tail you for 2 rounds and record you guys. It was amazing and an honor to record some of the best players in Michigan playing and tearing up BlueGil. So appreciate that. Thank you for letting us do that. And a huge thank you to Andy and Reid for coming out and doing the commentary as well. We had to work that into your schedule. We appreciate you guys being willing to do that and coming out and supporting our channel. We definitely support you guys. If you haven't gotten a TOWCH for them, make sure you do that or get a custom stamped disc for them. We want to support our players, especially our players like those that can really represent West Michigan in a positive way all across the country. So definitely go do that for those guys if you haven't yet. Also wanted to give a huge thank you and shout out to Larry LeBond. We have never covered a tournament before. This is our first opportunity to do so. Some players had asked us if we were going to do tournament coverage, and we didn't have an interest or expected to do it this early, but we kind of got a couple people to convince us to try it. So we went up to Larry and asked him if he'd be willing to risk and allow us to do that, because it is a risk for him because we've never done one. And he said, sure, go ahead. And so we did the Kalamazoo Amateurs, and it was a pretty good hit. And then we got asked by some of the pros to come back and do the Kalamazoo Open, so we asked Larry again. He also agreed to that one. So thanks, Larry, for taking a risk on us. I think it was a huge success. I had a lot of positive feedback from a lot of the players. Thank you so much for allowing us to do that. I also wanted to thank the rest of the Kalamazoo Open staff who threw this tournament. It was a fantastic success. I appreciate it a lot. So Kevin Dowd, Rusty Goyer, Randy Copperland, and Joe Gill, we appreciate you guys for maintaining those courses. Making sure that the disc golf community has some great courses to play in, not only for this tournament, but leagues and other things like that. We appreciate you guys doing that and working for us to make sure that we have some fantastic courses and opportunities to play disc golf here. We appreciate that. Also, as another announcement, River City Open is coming up July 19th, 20th, and 21st. I'm going to put a link in the description below because if you are a female player in the Open Division or an MA1 player maybe wanting to bump up for this tournament, Crew 42 will actually be there to cover that division. So female players in the Open Division, sign up now. Still early. We have lots of opportunities. You might get featured on a feature card round 1 or on a lead card if you're shooting hot. So take the opportunity. I don't think there's enough coverage out there for the female players in this area at all, and we have some phenomenal players, so please go do that. We want to represent you the best we can. You guys have a talent to showcase, so let us here at Crew 42 show what you have to offer, not only here but across the country as well. Also want to give a huge shout out to Donut. It means so much to us that we have a guy like that who's willing to work with us. Everything's been voluntary so far. We haven't made any money doing any of this, so we appreciate the support that the community's given us, and I really appreciate Donut, who's been going out, helping me every day, helping the channel out every day. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot, buddy. Also, if you only started to watch this later in the round, you want to see how it all happened and break down the pro tournaments here, link in the description here. If you want to see the amateur tournament, the first tournament we covered, it's going to be linked here. So go ahead and check that out. We have six videos of that, all 3 rounds covered there. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, click this right here. We have an awesome opportunity for you to get involved. We appreciate you guys subscribing and liking our channel. Thank you so much. This has been Crew 42. Go and check out our videos, and we're out.